This game hurts my brain and my eyeball, but more on that in a minute. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has a very long name and was made by like 20 different studios. The events of this story take place in hell itself. Yes, the 80s. The gang and I leave our favorite drinking spot to go for a little night stroll. Then I happen upon this suspicious vehicle with automatic weapons inside its freshly popped trunk. Me being a fan of loud noises and tiny explosions, I decide to pick one up. During our little night shenanigans, we come across some guys just chilling in the dark. Oh shit, that means they're the enemy. Anyways, I start blasting and they all scatter. One of them doesn't really like my mini explosion maker and runs to the second story. Well, you know me, I'm like an overactive dog that chases anything that runs away. I sprint out to the fellow and then someone gets in my way. Big mistake, buddy. My new body armor eventually dies, so I make a mad dash for my initial target. My friend says hello and then he finds another person to greet. I question this fellow because apparently he took some hostages with some other bad guys, which is generally frowned upon. I give him the old Batman Scarecrow treatment.
Who do you work for?
And eventually he relents. Now I just have to figure out what to do with this poor guy.
Man, I really think we gotta release him. As in, throw him over the edge.
With our newfound information, we head on over to Turkey, which could mean only one thing. Yes, death and destruction. Anyways, we've got death covered. Sorry about that, fellas. That guy seems mad. And now, let's move on to the destruction. Yep, that's pretty destructive. We find the dude we were looking for, John Russian Rambo, and he's a little beat up. This guy was also part of the whole hostage situation mentioned earlier, but now tells us the hostages were just a ploy. Oh man, not again. Anyways, he starts all coughing and wheezing and is like, yada yada yada. You'll never be able to defeat Perseus.
I'm like, Perseus? Is this motherfucker a soft cuddly kitten? Because that's what Perseus means to me.
Then we cut to this like war room with all the head honchos. We've got buzzed and sexy CIA man Hudson. Always gotta have those shades. Next up is Fred from Scooby-Doo turned cartel boss. Oops, sorry, I meant Adler. Oh, and Mason is in this game too, but he's such a side piece compared to the original Black Ops, so don't even pay attention to his Chris Pine looking ass. Ronald Reagan shows up looking rosy as ever and is like,
boys, we really need to get this Perseus fellow no matter the cost.
oh shit, that was more Nixon. Anyways, the president gives us the go-ahead to assemble a super team made up of random, mostly new characters to get this new ultra bad guy. In this game, you actually get to create your own character, which doesn't happen ever. Weird. This is starting to feel like a Metal Gear Solid 5 type situation. But more on that in a minute. I give my man some superhuman-like abilities and name him something fitting of a top-secret CIA operative. Big baller balls. However, the game is like, yeah, we'll just call you Bell for short. We roll up and the crew is all just chilling in this garage. Come on, people, there are terrorists afoot. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's do this memory exercise to get everyone up to speed on the elusive Perseus. We go back to Nam with Bell and Adler to the first time that the King Baddie was spotted. Then we fly around in this helicopter and lay down a little chaos, just like a tiny, tiny small bit. Next, we speed through this little area, just the two of us, taking out an entire village worth of enemies. A little bit of a stretch, but I'll accept it. And we find this communication log between the Viet Cong and the Russians. Always the Russians with these games. Turns out these Firebase guys have a little nuclear device they need to get rid of. Why keep a nuclear bomb in some ghetto mansion? Well, I have no idea. But we're tasked with getting it out of there. We hop back in our whip and they let me drive this time. Pretty neat. Everyone knows I'm an excellent pilot. Oops, but don't worry, it's cool, the bomb did not explode. Things start getting a little too hairy, so we call in a napalm strike. Real apocalypse now type stuff. Then the game cuts back to the present day and Hudson is talking with the president. He's like, Bell, just remember that communication log he got like 10 years ago and we're decoding it now. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. You guys waited 10 years to look at this very important file? That's a little weird. Hint, hint, don't worry. I won't spoil their stupid little twist just yet. Next, the gang heads on over to East Berlin to pursue some leads on people working with Percy Daddy. We scoot on through some subway tunnels, kind of cool, but also a little bit dirty. I find some more human shields and turn them into human grenade catchers. After that, Adler gets stopped by some Stasi who are really just doing their jobs, but you know, terrorists, so they gotta die. I meet up with the contact in this quaint little bar. Then I record some baddies having a meeting. But for some reason in this crowded ass area, Homegirl starts talking to me about the mission with her voice about 3 decibels below a pterodactyl screech. The popo shows up and I decide it's high time to take a dump, aka slide out the bathroom window. I sneak around, avoid the police, and find this informant guy tied up in a basement. I think, oh, I'll be nice. He's on our side, I should let him go. Next, I make my way to the home of one of the guys working with Perseus. I plant a little listening device in its briefcase and then hear some murmurings coming from the closet. I check it out and gasp! It's Miss Loudmouth from the bar. Then all of a sudden I get bonked from behind, and not in a cool way. We wake up in a warehouse and scary dudes are holding us at gunpoint. Oh, and look who it is. Yeah, that guy I let go free. He ratted us out. Should've killed him. They started asking questions, and of course, I be sassy, which I guess is not the correct response because they murder my pal Ginger talks a lot. Perseus' buddies start kicking me around, which is a mistake because my friends show up and start shooting. I pick up a gun and chase after my interrogator. Duty runs into a dead end and I'm like, wrong turn, mother trucker. No, I actually thought he was a bad guy and I didn't realize it was a pivotal moment for the story. Oopsies. We do get some info off the guy and it's revealed that Perseus has a nuclear warhead. Well, of course he does. It wouldn't be Call of Duty without some threat of nuclear war. Next, me and Woods stalk out in the woods to investigate some coordinates that were decrypted in a recent transmission. Turns out they lead to a massive Soviet pyramid base thing, and now all you have to do is sneak inside. The entire pyramid thing is filled with different scenarios for Russian Spetsnaz to get ready for an invasion of America. The trainees get pissed we're there, so Woods and I have to shoot our way out. We eventually find our way to some random ass terminal with a password just chilling on this sticky note. On the computer, we learn of a special operation called Greenlight, which describes a stolen American nuke and our boy Hudson. Son of a gun. Woods is pissed because Hudson didn't give us the full scoop. Anyways, I shoot some bros with a rocket launcher and Woods drives like a maniac, crushing everything in sight. After our escape, Woods gathers the whole crew and they meet up with Hudson to pound his little booty. Just kidding. Woods does get a cheeky right hook in though. Hudson explains Greenlight was a special operation to turn these nuclear bombs housed around America into neutron bombs that would kill lots and lots of people, but not destroy any buildings. The gang is like, not cool, man, not cool. Hudson says they did this to stop a Russian invasion while preserving America's way of life. But what this ultimately means is once Perseus detonates a special neutron nuke, everyone will think it's the United States, and then all the other countries will be really, really mean. The crew then remembers this old Soviet base, Yamantu or something, and it might house a list of Russian sleeper agents who could be responsible for this nuke thievery. And I'm like, sure, why not? Honestly, the devs are pulling everything else out of their asses, so why not this too? Woods and I snipe some people like quickscoping gods and then take a little rip on the zip. Unfortunately, it can't hold this dump truck I'm packing and I almost fall to my death. It's cool though, my knees broke my fall. I find this nifty bow and instantly transform into Katniss Everspleen. Anyways, several fights later and one flaming muchacho, we wind up in the heart of the Soviet snow base. We find this huge mainframe and instead of hacking in and stealing the data, we decide to just take the whole thing. Yes, the whole thing. We yanked this biatch through a hole in the roof with the helicopter. Unfortunately, all of our efforts proved fruitless. The names we were looking for on the mainframe have all been wiped. Well, of course. The only place they're left now is in Soviet Mother Russia. So what do? Oh, you know, we just use our inside man Comrade Belikov to fool everyone. Even this big dum-dum. Wait a minute, Zakayev? That seems familiar. To cover our tracks, we blame the thievery on the only logical person. Yes. The governor of the whole shebang. Yes, comrades, it was absolutely this fellow right here. Then we let our boys Adler and Big Baller Balls in through the basement. Don't worry, they'll totally pass as Russians. Oh, he totally knows. We shoot everyone and steal the names of those pesky sleeper agents. We find some dude on the list and track him to Cuba, believing that he's got the bomb. The place is crawling with bad guys and some cheeky little bastard thought they could trick me, which definitely didn't work. We find the agent, but so did Perseus. I know, like what? This guy everywhere all at once, or what's going on here? Perseus convinced this guy to reverse engineer the nuclear code so that he may detonate every nuke in the United States all at once. Yeah, I know. Let's pray to the nuclear gods that this is not how these bombs work in real life. Anyways, things go bad, people blow up, and this guy doesn't get hooked on the sky hook. He'll be fine. My friends take me to the back and they're like, here, let me stick this memory juice in your eye. I'm like, ow, but okay. They say this should help jog your memory on some other things that happened back in Nam. Then things start to get a little fucky, like this, and this. Oh, and definitely this. I'm getting some real vibes right now. Nah, it's not quite as cool, but it is kinda cool, I'll grant them that. Turns out my homies, you know, my best pals, pulled me out at that airport. Yes, the airport from earlier in the game, when Russian mustache Rambo was pissed and shot those guys in that car. That was me, Big Baller Balls. These guys pulled me out, patched me up, and then did some CIA mind erasery and put in false memories, like going to Nam with Adler. Oh, and then they took me on all their missions. Which actually no, this whole thing is stupid because I could have snapped at any moment or remembered who I was and then just killed all of them. highly irresponsible in my opinion. Anyways, I eventually remember where this guy Perseus is, and then there's like this whole Top Gun moment where everyone's putting on their sunglasses. Very majestic. We storm Percy Baby's beaches, blow up his towers, and his anti-airplane shooty guns, which then allows our guys to come in and blow everything up, stopping the nukes from going off. Wow, what a story. Oh, and the icing on the cake, Adler's praising me for being like this awesome guy and helping out America, even though they like broke my psyche, probably for good. But then he's like, yeah, you're still you, so you gotta die. Nice. Hey, handsome fellow or lady fellow, you should subscribe because I love you. And if you have questions about this incredible journey we've been on, then join the Discord in the description. Okay, bye.